Why is Apple so popular? Apple is the world's most valuable company right now and has been the undisputed leader for more than a decade. And if you haven't realized by now, it has one of the most loyal customer bases.
That Apple just hit the $3 trillion mark in total market cap.
Tech titan nearing a $3 trillion, yeah, that's right, $3 trillion valuation.
Apple became the most valuable publicly traded company in the world.
Apple is about to become a $3 trillion company, and chances are by the time this video is out, they already are. Their popularity comes from a multitude of reasons, but why is it that so many people are addicted to it? What's up guys, this is AK, and in today's video I want to take a deep dive into Apple's business model and marketing strategies to try and figure out how they may be manipulating you into getting their products. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. You may have realized that for most people, once they start using an iPhone, they can't really switch back to any other operating systems. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just very tough to do so, and that's because Apple makes it so. You see, Apple's ecosystem and its services are so well planned that it is known as a walled garden. And it's not just Apple, all tech companies, Netflix, Google, TikTok, they're all trying to get you to use their service for as long as possible because to them, that's what matters. By the fourth quarter of 2021, 56% of smartphone users in the US were iPhone users. And if you notice, throughout 2020 and 2021, Apple has had the largest market share. So how are they doing this? What makes them a behemoth in the smartphone world? And then the real question, are they manipulating you? First, here's a short history lesson to find out how Apple got here. The main reason why Apple became so popular back in 1976 was innovation. It had a reputation of taking whatever complicated devices people were using and simplifying them. The Apple I, the first ever product launched by the company, was a personal computer made by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in a garage, which kicked off the computer industry. The first Macintosh, launched in 1984, was revolutionary because it brought about the graphical user interface. This continued leading to the launch of the original iPhone in 2007, which completely shook the entire industry. So Apple was always known to be ahead of the curve, to innovate with every device, even if it's a small change, and that allowed Apple to rise massively in value and popularity. Jumping back to present day, their company is making all sorts of innovative products: foldable phones, advanced camera systems, exploding phones. However, despite this, Apple has managed to stay at the top of the smartphone market, and this has to do with its marketing. Apple is a master at marketing. You may have wondered why, despite being such a huge company, they offer only limited products. For example, why don't they make refrigerators or TVs like Samsung or gaming consoles like Sony? I mean, they surely have the resources for that. More importantly, why do they sometimes make seemingly foolish decisions like removing the headphone jack? That's because Apple's not competing with other companies, it's competing with itself. Notice how at every keynote, Apple compares the performance of the current generation device with the previous generation rather than comparing with maybe Samsung. Even their product lines are competing with one another. As Phil Schiller puts it, the job of the watch is so that you don't need to pick up your phone as often. The job of the phone is so that you don't need your iPad as often. The job of the iPad is so that you don't need a notebook. So as you can see, each device makes the job of the previous device simpler. So they don't make devices that are good enough, they make sure it makes a splash. Part of the reason why AirPower never saw the light of day. So their marketing strategy is simplicity. Anything redundant is removed, such as the headphone jack. And sometimes it does seem outrageous, but they make a huge bet on themselves. Because sometimes customers themselves don't know what they want. Before the iPhone, people would have wanted a better iPod, but Apple killed the iPod for the iPhone. And did that seem like a bad choice? Every touchpoint from Apple's website to Apple stores have a classic Apple experience. You may have noticed that Apple's products have one of the most enjoyable unboxing experiences. I mean, imagine opening a box and realizing there's no charger inside. Where can you find that? That's because Apple focuses on every small detail, and that elegance appeals to customers. They iron out all the kinks and make sure they create a device that people want to use. Apple's obsession with simplicity is what makes their devices easy to use for all age groups, and that generates revenue. And whether you agree or not, all or most other smartphone companies copy this design language. Their entire business model is user experience, and you see that across devices. According to Phone Arena, Apple topped the customer satisfaction ratings in 2021 when compared with other companies, and has consistently done so over the years. What's more is that Apple continues to improve on it. According to another survey done on Apple devices by Business Insider, customer satisfaction with the first generation Apple Watch was 97%, which is higher than the first generation iPhone and iPad, which were at 92% and 91% respectively. Another reason why Apple users can have a peace of mind is their excellent customer support. Their salespersons are very well trained in providing a personalized experience and know the right questions to ask to understand the customer's needs. Apart from that, there are 3 ways you can contact Apple: on the phone, through the Apple Support account on Twitter, and the Apple Support app itself. So it's not just their products, even their employees provide a lasting impression. However, they use the exact same tactic to persuade you into getting an iPhone. Let's go back to the chart I showed a while ago. Apple has captured most of the smartphone market, and in the US, 87% of teenagers own an iPhone. That means every 9 in 10 teenagers own an iPhone. Kelly Goldsmith, Associate Professor of Marketing at Vanderbilt University in the Owen Graduate School of Management, told CNBC that the psychology behind it is that it becomes a part of your identity. She says it's something that you carry with you all the time, so it conveys information about you to other people. This is part of the behavioral economics of consumers. They're looking for acceptance. And if you're wondering why people queue up outside an Apple store every time a new iPhone is released, she explains that too. She says every time you look at that phone, it tells you something about who you are, and it reinforces certain aspects of your own identity. This is known as self-signaling in behavioral economics. Knowing that you own the latest and greatest device makes you feel good about yourself, even if it's not that different from the previous generation. Another example is Instagram, or pretty much any social media service out there. You may have realized that the quality of photos and videos posted from an Android device is noticeably lower than from an iPhone. You may be wondering, why would Instagram do that? It's not because Apple pays them to do so, but more because of the general demographics of Android devices. You see, iPhones are made by just one company, and they have a pretty standard screen size with about 3 new phones launched each year. But when it comes to Android, there are thousands of companies out there. So you have Android devices of all shapes and sizes, which makes it nearly impossible to optimize the app for every single one of them. So instead of actually using the camera hardware, Instagram just captures what it sees on the screen. So customers know that when you're paying for an iPhone, you're paying for a premium software experience, and this doesn't just apply to social media apps. What separates Apple from all other companies is how well their devices can work with one another. You can start something on your iPhone but pick up right where you left on your Mac or your iPad. Apple isn't the only company with an ecosystem like this. Google has one, Samsung has one, but no one really does it as well as Apple does, which is both a good and bad thing. The good thing is, once again, it improves the overall user experience. Who doesn't want to wait to work productively or seamlessly transfer files between devices? Take AirPods for instance. The AirPods and AirPods Pro carry a chip inside which allows them to automatically connect to your phone whenever the case is opened. You don't even need to set it up in Bluetooth settings. But with Android, they work like any other Bluetooth headphones and you lose a lot of the functionality too. So in this case, you're paying for the seamless software experience and the unmatched convenience. Another example is AirDrop, which allows you to transfer files between devices in full quality. Android has nothing that comes close. But as much as this ecosystem is convenient, it's also a trap and it slowly sucks you in. Your first device is likely to be an iPhone. After that, maybe you buy an iPad because of the bigger screen, or Mac because it's easier to work on. Fitness enthusiast? Apple Watch. Add to cart. And some music would be nice. So AirPods Pro, add. And guess what? You're trapped because you can't use an Apple Watch without an iPhone, so you'll have to buy a new iPhone anyway. And the ecosystem is constantly growing with Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, etc. etc. So if you switch to Android, AirDrop, gone. iMessages, gone. Your Apple playlists, gone. Now, this is a debate that has been going on for years, but there are reasons why iPhone users remain iPhone users. One reason is software updates. Android devices on average stop getting software updates after 2 years. iPhones, however, receive software updates for at least 5 years. This means you keep up to date despite not having the latest iPhone. Another reason is because you can customize Android however you like, which is good for tech-savvy users, but most of us just want our phones to perform the basic tasks in the most convenient manner, and that's what Apple stands for. I'm going to stop right there, but if you want an entire video breaking down the advantages of each operating system, let me know in the comment section down below. So, back to the question, is Apple trying to trap you? Definitely, that's what all companies are doing. However, whether you allow yourself to be manipulated by businesses or are conscious of the choices you make depends on you. Of course, these are only some ways Apple may be trapping you. If you want a part 2 of this video, let me know in the comments below as well. That is it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this. Make sure to check out my other videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.